You know, a decade of DelmarvaLife, and we have really seen a lot.
We sure have, and sometimes what we see leaves us speechless. That was the case a few years back when we first met sequential artist Bradley Hudson. We had the honor of visiting his studio in 2015, and you're about to see why franchises such as Star Wars and Topps Trading Cards quickly added Brad to their rosters.
I read a lot of Daredevil when I was a kid. Batman was my favorite.
Brad Hudson has been drawing comics for as long as he can remember. As a kid, he did it for fun. He was a teenager when his artistic talent landed him his first commission work.
I didn't necessarily think it was going to be a career.
But it did become a career. Not long after getting his master's in fine art, he started teaching art at UMES. But recently, his career got a little boost, one that took him back to his roots of drawing comics.
I've always drawn Star Wars characters and always loved Darth Vader and drawing some of the fantastic kind of stuff that was in those films. I'd started doing these artist trading cards, which are popular right now, and they're just little teeny sketches. And they're nice for people that want to buy art, but they don't want to spend a lot of money, so they can buy one of these cards for $10, $20 or so, and they're just little teeny sketches. And so people collect them.
It was at a comic convention in Philadelphia back in May that Brad was approached by a Topps Trading Card Company official who liked what he saw.
And at first I was very, I've been doing this long enough that I'm kind of jaded and leery of things that sound too good to be true.
But it was true. Brad was given the opportunity to create sketch cards for the #1 trading card company in an effort to build up one of the most anticipated film releases in decades, and he had to work fast.
At that point, I had 100 cards to draw probably by the end of the month. Make sure that I did them all in color.
And that wasn't the only pressure Brad was facing.
Because all of a sudden, I'm drawing these characters, and there's a couple of factors there that I haven't had him play before. I've drawn Darth Vader, I've drawn Luke, I've drawn a lot of these characters before, and it's no big deal. But now, all of a sudden, it's a legitimate thing. You know that fans are going to look at this, and they can be really critical, and you want to do the best that you can. And then you got a little teeny card to do it on.
So far, Brad says the feedback has been good.
Rather than trying to just take pictures that everybody knows and recreate them in a realistic fashion, I kind of do it in a more of an illustrative or cartoony kind of abstracted, slightly abstracted, stylized fashion. And so, it's enough like the character that it looks like the character, but it's also enough of me that I'm happy with it artistically.
Right now, there are about 230 of Brad's Star Wars sketch cards circulating through Topps inventory. When Brad sends Topps the cards, the company randomly places them in packs of cards. That means if someone buys Topps Star Wars cards, they could get a special, original sketch card. The company also sends about a dozen cards back to Brad so he can sell them or keep them. The chance of getting a sketch card in a pack of cards is about 1 in 800. The chance of getting one of Brad's cards is much higher.
Somebody tweeted at me that said, I got one of your cards today, and they were, I don't know where they were. They were somewhere across the country, and said it's really cool.
And it looks like this is just the beginning for Brad's sketch cards. He says after the new Star Wars film is released, more sketch card series will be commissioned.
And it certainly was just the beginning. Brad, by the way, is now a professor at University of Maryland Eastern Shore and a good friend of DelmarvaLife.
Yes, yes.